What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be playing a little Muriel with that new bug card. As always, let's go over the deck. Now I have Healing Towers, Armored, Shredding Strikes, Auto Shield, Blade Turn, and Mana Fountain for my gems. Now for my cards, I have Lamplighter, Coin Master, Exoskeleton, Flame of Zetchin, Green Spring, Radiant Healer, Brilliant Fortification, Protective Sentry, Growth Totem, Vital Waters, Vengeful Mare, and then lastly, Form of Grubbish. Now, I've always been a huge fan of Muriel. She was one of my first supports that I picked up back in the day, and I've always just really liked Muriel. She's very rewarding when you're able to help out your team and get them away with, no health at all, but you're able to throw those shield after shield, and, it's very rewarding as a support being able to keep teammates alive, and I really don't think there's any better support than Muriel when it comes to that. Now, I'm thinking the bug card's going to really help her out, give her a real CC. That's one downfall of Muriel. She's never had a CC before, and with this card, hey, she's got a pretty solid one. And, you could say, gag order. That's not really a CC, in my opinion. It is a silence, and it does, do that 15% extra damage, but if you actually take someone completely out of fight with that bug, that's CC. And I do think they actually move slower when you hit that. I think the bug doesn't travel as fast. Now, I could be wrong about that. This is the only match that I've played with it so far. And guys, it's so good. It's so good. And I think Muriel is a perfect hero for it to be played with. Now, we are in this duo lane with double Wukongs. They have a Faye, which Faye is annoying, but, I just really don't see her as a real support. She does have poke, things like that, but, like I said, I just don't really feel she's a support, and I don't know why Paragon has kind of forced that down our throats as her being a support, but I just really don't feel she is one. And, this match is going to kind of prove that, I hope. But, like I said, we'll wait and see. Now, I don't know whose bright idea it was to give Wukong a stun. Guys, I don't know. Like, why give an ADC a stun? Especially Wukong. He didn't need anything else to make him better. But he got one, and it is a pain. Now, my idea here is I'm just going to keep constant pressure on Wukong. My Wukong is just going crazy in the lane, and, he's pushing it, so I'm not too terribly concerned about, constantly poking the ADC and, having this lane naturally push because there's missed aggro constantly. But, I'm thinking if we can force the ADC out of lane at least once, that will give our Wukong, a huge advantage. And, hey, if we can even get the kill, that'd be great. Now, I do wish Wukong would slow farm, because if you are on the Dusk side, you have a huge advantage by letting them stay up. Not because of gold buff, but because it's so much easier for your jungler to head over and actually, get a kill. And we have a Richter jungler, so, him being able to just snag a kill, grab that pull, that would make it very, very easy to actually, go ahead and finish them off. Now, again, I'm just going to go in on this Wukong. You can see we've got him very low. And I'm really hoping that, if he stays, we should be able to wrap this kill up. Now, I do go ahead and throw my little dart thing, and I really wish Wukong wouldn't have gone in. I throw a shield on him, and that's all I can do. I gotta get out. Fang ends up taking me out, and hopefully that shield is enough to get Wukong out of there. This is one reason I'm not a huge fan of melee ADCs. I think they're in a much better spot in that duo lane compared to how they used to be in just the safe lane. But still, he has to go into that tower to engage in that fight. And I'm kind of helpless at that point. You could see I stayed in as far as I could, but I was going to go down, so I've got to at least try to escape. I threw that shield down. Luckily, he did get out, but, there was really no need for that tower dive. I'm really happy he did get out, and, you know, he lived through that, but it would have been nice not to have him die. Now, before you say I stole the gold buff right there, I saw Faye. Faye was going to steal that gold buff from Wukong, so I said, hey, I'd rather me take it than Faye take it, and that's why I just snagged it, because, you know, I knew she was going to get it. You know, I would like Wukong to get fed, but I don't want to let their support get fed either, so that was kind of a judgment call on my part. But I think, you know, you could see Faye launched her little needle thing right after I did, so she would have definitely snagged that. So, in my opinion, hey, great call. And we're just going to keep on putting up pressure. Now, I do, you know, our Wukong, he's got to go into that tower. And again, this is one of the downfalls of a melee ADC. But, you know, I feel the ADCs, since the laning phase has really changed, I feel that ADCs can play a little bit differently than they used to. Now, our Wukong is being a little bit aggressive, and, you know, and that's okay. I am here to protect him, and we definitely have the advantage over Faye. You know, Faye can't protect anybody, really. You know, she's got her little slow thing, and when she gets her ultimate, she can pull people away, but she has nothing to actually help out, and, you know, I think that's huge. Now, I do have wards in this deck. You know, I think now with the duo lane, it's absolutely necessary to have wards. You know, I think that was one of the biggest changes that came from V44.3 is wards are actually important now. And, you know, I gotta say, I really enjoy that. I really think having a support actually play a support role with wards and, you know, they're there to support their team, not just be another damage dealer. I like that. It kind of revitalizes supports, although, you know, I do think supports still need a little more than what we currently have. You know, it is what it is. Muriel still feels very good, and with getting that buff, I think she's only going to get better. I would definitely like to see Decker get a little bit more than she's gotten, but, you know, hey, is what it is. I'm really happy with how the supports feel currently, and I think we're in a good state. Now, I did miss that shield. I was trying to hit that shield on to Wukong. You know, that being at that kind of steep advantage, it's easy to miss those type of things, but it's what it is. Now, you can see that Faye, you know, she uses her ult, and I'm able to throw that shield down. It negates almost 100% of that damage. You know, that's just the power of Muriel. You know, I can negate them. And, guys, Muriel's awesome. Y'all should play her. She's really fun. Now, Wukong is staying in a little bit. You know, I can't heal him. I can, you know, shield him, but I can't heal him. So, it's great. He is going back. I am out of mana, and, you know, I need to be aware of that. I'm just going to hang out under my tower, kind of fill up with mana as much as I can, and do as much poke as I can. Maybe try to get a little bit of farm, but, you know, Wukong had to back, so I need to hold off as much as I can. And since their Wukong, you know, he just hit level 5, he probably isn't all that fed. We've done a decent job of, you know, keeping him away from his farm. So we should be able to get some damage on him if he comes into tower, even though I am just Muriel. And sure enough, my Wukong's able to show up and kind of clean everything up, and we're able to, you know, get this lane pushing in the right direction. Now, the laning phase is, in my opinion, kind of boring for the duo side. You know, it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And until you have some rotation from either your mid lane or your jungle, you know, you're not going to get just a ton of damage on the tower unless you just get fed to the point where, you know, you actually take one of them down and you're able to just delete a tower, which, you know, we actually do a pretty decent job here. I am going in on this Wukong. You can see we've poked him pretty well, but he does manage to get out. I am out of mana. You know, we got a good chunk of damage on that T1, but I'm out of mana. The lane is pushed back. You know, their Wukong is definitely going to have to back, so now's a perfect time for me to, you know, get out, go refill with mana, and actually throw on, you know, a little bit of a better card. Now, I do get that Radiant Healer, so I can provide some heals as well as these, you know, awesome shields Muriel has, and this is going to be a huge help. Now, they do have quite a bit of a rotation, And, you know, Wukong's here, you know, he's doing the best he can, but we do have to be careful. And even though they're getting a ton of damage on our tower, you know, that's quite alright, guys. You know, again, T1s are designed to fall, so, you know, really don't worry about a T1 falling. It actually might make your job a little bit easier. But we do have some rotation of our own. Grux is here, and this actually is a great opportunity for me to use my ultimate, get that slow, and we're actually able to wrap up that kill on Wukong. Now, I did kind of steal that kill, you know, I probably should have let someone have it. I just really wanted to make sure it got secured, but is what it is. Now, I thought we were going to disengage on this, but, you know, our Grux stayed in. I wish I would have stayed there, you know, I probably could have helped that, and we probably could have secured that kill, but is no problem at all. We got this lane pushing, and, you know, we've got a decent wave in. Fang is pretty low, so he's not going to be able to challenge near as much as, you know, he would like. And sure enough, we're able to down this tower. Now, I do get a slow on Fang, and, you know, our Wukong actually hits him with that stun. But, you know, their Wukong shows up, and they get a stun of their own. Now, I choose to use my Alacrity on myself, because Wukong already does have some decent escape abilities, and, you know, I want to get out. I can't stay in on this, you know, I'm low with mana, you know, I'm pretty healthy, but I'm low on mana, and there's really nothing else I'm going to be able to do, so sure enough, I'm going to back. Now, Wukong does stay in, and unfortunately, he doesn't stay safe and ends up actually going down. I did put on Brilliant Fortification. I was hoping that would be enough to save that tower, but it just wasn't. Now, Wukong is here, and, you know, our Grux showed up, so I'm like, hey, let's go in on this. But unfortunately, he did miss Smash and Grab, and they're able to get out. You know, Wukong's pretty tricky to kill anyway, so we might not have been able to do anything there, but it'd have been nice to at least, you know, get a decent amount of damage on him. But missing that Smash and Grab kind of throws everything off. Now, me and Grux are, you know, we're here in this duo lane, and we're just going to kind of push it, get it pushed the other way. Since they did down our tower, you know, it's kind of no longer our, you know, strict laning phase. Wukong does have the freedom to rotate around, and sure enough, he did show his face in mid lane, which is nice. You know, it's always nice getting your ADC to go help out mid lane, because as a mid lane caster, you're definitely going to need help with your tower. Now, again, our Wukong is playing just a little bit too aggressive, and, you know, he does end up actually being pushed out by the enemy Wukong out of that stun from Faye, which, you know, hey, that actually worked out amazingly. And, you know, we missed that slow. You know, if we would have got that slow, that would have been an easy kill. But our Wukong is chasing, so, you know, I'm hot on his tails. I want to make sure that he can get out. You know, Faye is here, and we need to be careful. You know, we don't know where the jungler is. We're way past the river. You know, we're way past a safe area for us to be, especially with Wukong being as low as he is. Luckily, we do get out safe. You know, Faye was low on mana, and since she used her ultimate and didn't... the Wukong... Oh, man, the enemy Wukong saved our Wukong's life there, I'm sure. But, you know, is what it is. Now, I do ult over because I saw an engagement happening, and Grux, sure enough, is able to secure that kill onto Fang. You know, that worked out perfect. You know, I really like Muriel, like I said, guys. Being able to ult and help secure kills, I really think the offensive ult is amazing with Muriel. You know, the defensive ult with Muriel is still great as well when you really want to save somebody, but it's really hard to imagine how much you can set up kills when that happens. Now, Belica's being chased down by this Countess, and, you know, she does do a little bit of damage to me, hits me with that ult, but I am able to take her out. You know, I guess she just, you know, underestimated the power of Muriel, and sure enough, we're able to take out a Countess, and, you know, we forced her ultimate out as well, so that kind of frees us up in that off lane. And, you know, hey, I gotta say, Muriel taking out Countess, it feels good. Now, I am actually in comms with Belica. We are in a duo actual match, and, you know, so we've got a little bit of a communication there, but, of course, being in comms with your full team is always more preferred, but, you know, it is what it is, guys. Now, I do head over. We are able to get some decent poke on that Wukong, but, you know, there's nothing that's going to happen. We really just need to get out. Sure enough, Wukong, our Wukong, I should just call him Red Wu and Blue Wu, but he is able to get out, and you can see he used that verticality to jump over that wall there. From here, we actually head to mid. You know, we should be able to take this mid tower down. It's got almost no health. And with me, Belica, and Grux here, you know, this should be just an easy tower. And unfortunately, our Grux backed off. You know, that might have been a better call on his part. You know, with everybody there, I'd just get absolutely melted. Me and Belica both got melted. They had some great rotation there. It would have actually been nice to force that lane, and, you know, we didn't realize that Grux had actually backed. You know, he was right there. We should have really pushed that tower, and, you know, with him being there, we would have been able to force that lane down that tower and then safely get out. I really wish that he wouldn't have left, but it is what it is, guys. And from here, you know, just got to learn, hey, you sometimes cannot expect people to do things when, you know, they're on a different page. Now, I do put on Greenspring. I should have put this card on way earlier. You know, I'm fully concentrating on the bug, so, you know, I just forgot. Now, we do have an engagement going in mid, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting Quang instead of Grux. Sure enough, we are able to get Quang, and you can see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what makes Muriel great and really enjoyable. I was able to get him out with, you know, 3 health. Now, I am trying to keep Wukong from taking too much damage, and you can see, you know, he had 4 people on him and didn't really take a whole lot due to those Muriel shields, and, you know, that just feels so rewarding as being a support when you can provide that type of sustain and that type of just, you know, support for your team. I just really enjoy that, guys. It feels so rewarding, and with supports being in the spot that they have been for so long, you know, it just feels good, and I'm happy to say that I like the state Muriel is in right now. Now, from here, we need to go take care of Raptor, and sure enough, that's exactly what we do. We're able to secure Raptor pretty effortlessly. Now, purple buff shows up, and I go ahead and grab it just to top off on mana, kind of look around for some wards. You know, they do have a Countess running that Finder of Playthings, so, you know, they do have some decent vision on us, even without wards. But we get into a small engagement here in mid, and we're kind of able to, you know, keep people alive, things like that. And, you know, hey, that's great. We got into a team engagement. No one really took any kind of damage because, you know, I've got those great shields really helping my team out. But from here, I'm actually going to head over to our off lane. I am able to use Brilliant Fortification again, and I do actually end up chasing this Countess and this Fae off. You know, I'm actually able to save this tower for a little bit. And, you know, Brilliant Fortification is such a nice card. But unfortunately, we didn't have anybody else rotate, so they were able to just force this lane. You know, I don't have the wave clear to actually save a tower. I can just kind of delay it a little bit. Now, I am finally able to put on Grubbish, and I actually use it straight away. So you can see our Wukong and their Wukong are facing off. I end up having to ult over because our Wukong's getting destroyed. I'm throwing all my shields, and then I hit him with the bug card, and our Wukong gets out with almost nothing, guys. You saw that. He should have got out much earlier, but we absolutely saved his life with Grubbish. You know, that he would have definitely died if it was not for that, you know, bug card. And, you know, that's amazing. You know, Muriel has yet another great support asset within her kit. You know, her kit is fully designed to support setup kills, things like that, or protect people. And now we've got one more tool, and it feels so good. I'm just a huge fan of this card. Now, we do go ahead and try to make an attempt on Raptors. Now, their Countess is down, so, you know, hey, let's go in on Raptors. Now's a good time. Unfortunately, we just don't have enough of a rotation, and our Quang is building a very unusual build, so he doesn't have a whole lot of damage yet. And, you know, the enemy team rotates over and kind of just zones us out of this Raptor kill, which, you know, it is what it is. We can say, hey, we made a decent attempt, but, you know, unfortunately, we weren't able to make that. Now, Fang is here, and I'm able to, again, hit him with that grubbish card. You can see the power of this card, guys. Fang would have definitely blinked out of that, but, you know, he's not going to this time. And, you know, that just felt amazing. Now, Arrg goes in on that, and I was heading over to actually get you know, a stun or something on him, or not a stun, a shield or something on him, and Gideon's ult, you know, that was a great ult on his part, and they just delete us. You know, Countess's ult, you know, I underestimated her this time because, you know, she got her revenge, but, you know, it feels bad. Quang made a very poor choice, and me trying to stand up at the top and throw a shield down to him, you know, that probably wasn't the best choice. I should have just let him go. But it's very hard to let people go when you're playing that support role. Now, I have no idea how Wukong survived this, but he ends up getting a triple kill with 3 health. You know, that was a great play on his part. But, you know, right now, Bellica and Wukong are alive, and, you know, we basically got a full team wipe except for their Fang. Or their Fang. So we just, you know, we got to be careful. They're not going to go for the Fang Tooth, but we definitely need to secure that soon, just so we can keep the advantage. Now, sure enough, we do head over to Fang, and the enemy team actually collapses on us, and we're not able to secure that. You know, it would have been nice to get a little bit more of a team collapse, a little bit faster, but we end up actually losing Fang, but, you know, we get a decent engagement. You know, we lose our ADC and our Quang for their mid laner and their support, and then end up picking off their ADC as well. So they did get Fang. You know, they did get, they're now caught up to us in that power scale with that gold. But, you know, we did win the fight, so it's not, you know, the biggest deal. Now, I do go ahead and ping, you know, or let everybody know, guys, we got to start grouping for Fang. You know, the ping system, God, it needs to be fixed. The ping system is just terrible. These little bitty, you know, beeps that no one can really hear, but are just kind of annoying, and so you kind of just tune them out after a while. And they've got these just little notifications on each side, and it's not a working system, and it really needs to be changed. Now, Fang is here, and I go ahead and hit him with that grubbin, but, you know, I actually end up getting deleted. You know, he was going in on Bellica, and, you know, Gideon just popped up behind us. Man, Gideon's ultimate, the stuns. But we end up, you know, we go down there, but we definitely saved our Bellica. You know, she rotated over because I think she thought I was in trouble. And, you know, I would have definitely got out of that. But having that Gideon collapse, you know, he made a split decision. And that was a great play on their part. You know, I definitely got punished for being out on that. Our Bellica does end up going down, but she does take out Fang for that. So, you know, we definitely lost that team fight. And then, you know, our Wukong going down as well. It's just, you know, not the best situation. But you can see here, guys, our Quang is, he's building just a strange build. He really doesn't have a whole lot of power on at this moment. And, you know, with having such an odd build, you know, he isn't being as helpful as I would like. You know, he's not really able to push that lane or really just give a whole lot of benefit to the team. But hopefully that will change soon. He actually does switch on some more power cards here in a little bit and definitely has more of an impact. Now, from here, you know, I'm kind of in mid by myself. You know, Bellica's just spawning in, and she's actually going to head to the safe lane to deal with that. But Fang just spawned in, so we're kind of heading over there. And, you know, the team with that Finder of Playthings, you know, they get great vision on us. They're able to see everything. But we do have some great team collapse, and with Grux, you know, Grux, God, he hits so hard, guys. I'm able to actually, you know, I use that reversal of fortune to get that slow. You know, right now, I really wish our team would turn around and go for Fang. You know, that's what we need to do. We got a couple of kills. Everybody quit chasing, turn around, go for Fang. But Grux actually chases that Wukong kill, and our Wukong splits off to go defend that T2, which, you know, defending a T2 is probably more worth picking up Fang, but it'd have been nice to really capitalize on getting those couple of kills and chasing off that Wukong. Now, I go ahead and silence this Faye again. You can see it slows her tremendously, and we're able to wrap this Faye kill up, you know, really punish her for pushing that, you know, pushing that mid T2 solo the way she did, especially with having two teammates down and that Wukong, you know, running for his life. That was really a great play on our part, and it was kind of a poor choice on her part, you know, and I hope she actually learned a little bit from that. But now we need to pick up Fang, guys. So, sure enough, me and Wukong head over there, and we're able to, you know, take this out fairly easy. Now, if you see, I am positioning myself so I get some good vision from the jungle, you know, so I can see if they're coming in, things like that. Sure enough, Countess heads in, and we're going to go ahead and, you know, throw up our shields, get everything ready, you know, for her, and we just delete her. We absolutely delete her. And now, you know, there is purple buff there, but I would think someone else is going to need it more than me. I'm actually going to head over to the other side and maybe secure that other buff, and it is red buff. It would have been nice for Belica to get it, but, you know, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and grab it, and let's get to pushing this lane. Now, again, we do push down this lane, but we have to be careful, you know, they're just missing one enemy, and we don't have just an entire lot of vision. Fang does show up, and with me and Belica here, you know, we should be able to get a good chunk of damage on him. Sure enough, we are able to hit him quite a bit. Now, I get absolutely deleted there. You know, that was a ton of damage from just, you know, Faye having that crazy burst, as well as, you know, that Gideon Void bomb rock thing. That was a good chunk of damage, but it did set our team up for success. You know, we ended up actually being able to take out that Gideon, and, you know, this is allowing our team to, you know, kind of keep this pressure up, but it is time to back out. Now, unfortunately, our Quang, you know, he still is just not quite building how he should, and he gets just evaporated there. I mean, he was at like full health and just one shot almost. Belica ends up actually going down, but she gets her ultimate off and actually takes out that Faye. I don't know how that happened. I swear she died before she got the ultimate off, but hey, great. You know, it ends up being a 4-for-3 fight there, which, you know, that's not always good. But hey, you know, we're getting into these team fights and we're doing the best we can. You know, without having just proper communication with everybody, we are suffering a little bit. I think we could have made a much better play there, but again, it is what it is, guys. We're making the best with what we got. Now, we have just been running back and forth from mid to our duo lane, you know, just kind of checking, making sure everything's good. Wukong is split pushing currently, so, you know, hey, we're making some progress. We want to definitely keep up pressure. That's, you know, like I said, me and Belica are in comms. Now, we're keeping up pressure to alleviate pressure with Wukong. Didn't quite work, so I end up just ulting over to make sure he gets out. Sure enough, we're able to, you know, successfully get out, no problem at all. And now we need to head back to mid because, you know, there is a collapse in mid. And, you know, the reverse is kind of happening. We had a lot of pressure in mid to alleviate pressure elsewhere. But now, since we split up, there's quite a bit of pressure in mid. And we just need to head over and make sure everybody's safe. Now, we have picked up Fang 4-3 times, so we do have an advantage. And you can see our Quang, oh man, he just runs in there. I'm doing everything I can to keep him alive. You see, I'm throwing shields on him, but it's just not quite enough. Now, their Countess is here. You know, I go ahead and hit her with that bug. We're able to just kind of zone her out just for a second, but, you know, it's not quite enough. But Belica again hits her with that ultimate and is able to take her out. Now you can see I'm sticking with Belica. I'm keeping her alive, throwing these shields on her. Sure enough, she's able to get out with 3 health. You know, man, that feels so good as a Muriel player, just keeping people alive that way. I love that. You know, it's so good. Now, Faye does get caught out, or she is, you know, currently being handled by our Wukong, and I go to help, and man, just the damage, guys. Holy moly, I got deleted. You know, I don't really have a whole lot of, you know, great in-game cards on yet, which I definitely have the gold for it. I just haven't put them on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me, guys. You know, I really wanted to keep Brilliant Fortification on, but I should have taken this card off long ago. You know, we're definitely kind of running away with this match, especially with having all the fangs that we do. You know, I could definitely get rid of this card at the moment, and you know, I definitely think running this build with maybe having Godmother on, or just any kind of other tanky card, you know, even Unbroken Spirit would be a good choice, but I haven't done it yet. I do go ahead and throw on Vital Waters to, you know, maybe help out. Maybe you could even run Growth Death or Order Death and put on something like Numbing Rogue. That actually might be an absolute huge help. But, you know, yeah, I kind of threw this deck together, you know, really focusing on the Grubbish card. So hopefully we'll, you know, I really like the Grubbish card, but I think I just don't have quite enough tanky aspects within my deck. Now, when we do finally spawn back in, you know, there's an engagement going down in mid, and again, I'm going to use my ult offensively. I'm going to use it to get that slow on everybody, you know, really help out my team. That's going to keep our Wukong, you know, nice and healthy. And you can see he's taking very little damage. You know, most of that damage was from that Countess ultimate right there. And, you know, I missed that shield. I don't know what the aiming, if I just didn't aim that right, or if I thought the ledge, you know, I don't know. I should have hit that way better than I did, but he ends up getting out, you know, he survives that, which is what we wanted. And now I am able to actually get that slow onto Gideon. Grux goes in there, tanks that tower shots, a couple of those tower shots, and he's able to actually secure those kills. Now I hit this Wukong with my bug again, and you see, you know, we delete him, and then they end up surrendering right here, which, you know, hey, it might have been game over. I would have definitely liked to finish the game, but is what it is, guys. I'm kind of under the conclusion that I'm just not going to be able to show full victories anymore. They just don't happen. Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching, and I gotta say, this Grubbish card, I really like it. You saw, there were some great plays with it there. Well, again, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.